Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Where Is This Going? A podcast about artists you may not know yet, but hopefully will soon grow to appreciate at the very least. This intro is coming to you from my bedroom because we just got back from a weekend in New York. Fun time. Got to do the comic strip live. Got to do Broadway Comedy Club. First trip to New York. I'd say success. And we have two more comedians on the show today. Johanna Madronda and Connor Mead of Each Other's Mothers podcast. We're just missing Carolyn Paul, but you can catch their podcast released every week, and you can catch their Instagram at Each Other's Mothers Pod, and look for them on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, wherever you find podcasts, all spaced out, Each Other's Mothers, space in between all of that. But check them out. Super hilarious ladies from the Detroit area, the east side of the state. They came to hang out, and it was just a ton of fun. We talk a little bit about cancel culture. And, I mean, if you talk to a comedian, it's going to get brought up inevitably. But we talk comedy, and it's my most favorite thing to talk about. And I just like talking to people about what they're passionate about. And if it happens to align with my passion, so be it. But it's a lot more fun that way. So listen to this conversation with Johanna and Connor Mead. Johanna Madronda and Connor Mead. They're not married, but they do live together. Hope you enjoy.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us again. This is Where Is This Going? A podcast about artists you may not know, but hopefully will soon grow to appreciate at the very least. We are joined by two hilarious women today, hosts of Each Other's Mothers podcast. Also, there is a third host, but she is not here as she is safe and or gone. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the studio Johanna Madronda and Connor Mead.
Hey, let's pop a lock and drop in.
Of Each Other's Mothers podcast, available on Spotify, iTunes. Podcast. No,
iTunes,
yes?
We're still waiting on iTunes.
Yes,
but,
that's a longer confirmation.
We're on Anchor FM, so if you just
nice.
look us up on Anchor FM, there's all like the streaming platforms that we are currently on.
Can we start a beef between Anchor and Spreaker?
Yeah,
let's do it.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I've been waiting for someone to ask
that. two hosts that we are really just barely connected to in that they host our podcast, but that's
but
the
we're
only
really
connection
loyal
we
to
have.
them.
Exactly.
We will defend them.
Okay, yeah. Spreaker versus Anchor. Find it live. That's our new podcast. Who will host it?
Right, yeah, get a hold of
YouTube for now.
Carolyn Paul, who's not here.
Yes. So Each Other's Mothers, starring
us.
Me.
Connor Mead,
Mead,
Johanna Madronda, and
Yes,
Carolyn.
and Carolyn Paul.
And Ellen Stakowitz. Oh, yeah, Carolyn Paul.
Okay, it's
and
the
Ellen
Lynn and
Stakowitz.
line part that always gets me.
Oh, she's got such a
she
good
has
joke
a
about it.
Great joke
yeah.
about it.
Caroline. She literally sings on stage. It's really good. It's really good.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And Ellen?
Ellen Stagowitz, she's our sound engineer and producer, but
Right.
we mic her up and we
Yes.
love for her to like interject.
Is she masked and mic'd?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I hear, I don't know if you guys are masked as well because I don't watch it as much as I listen to it.
Right.
But I hear her masked, definitely.
Definitely.
Like, you can tell that she is masked.
She's double masked because she works at a grocery store and has been working this entire time.
Yep.
An essential worker. And
Shouts out.
Shout out. And then we do mask up when Carolyn's there because Carolyn's actually very COVID spooked.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but we live together. Connor and I live together.
Right.
So
Yeah.
when Carolyn's
Right.
not
So
there,
we just,
we're
like,
like,
make out
woo, we're taking our
do
bras
whatever.
off
Yeah.
in our masks, baby.
Because Carolyn cares about the bras as well.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
She's like, can you guys just please
Right,
tame
just-
yourselves?
Yeah.
No
yeah.
nipples,
Yep.
please.
Yep. Which is odd because she's a lesbian. So.
Yeah. She does seem to definitely be I don't want to say woke police because that sounds.
Oh, she's the wokest.
Oh,
She's
she's the woke general.
Yeah.
Not the police. She is.
You skipped police and went straight to
She
military.
is the army.
Yeah.
Yes, and the navy.
she keeps
yeah.
us in check.
Yeah, and I was gonna say it sets up for a nice dynamic where one of you inevitably is always
Say the N-word
apologizing
and
to
it's
her.
like such a big thing.
Yes.
No, I'm kidding.
We are always apologizing to her. It is so funny, and we often apologize to Ellen as well. But yeah, like in our like description on Spotify, it's Johanna POS Madronda, piece of shit, and then Connor Middle Ground Mead, and then Carolyn PC Paul. That's
Yes.
like what I called us because it's literally the dynamic.
Yes.
Yeah.
PPC.
And it's a great variety to have.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, she's literally saving us from not getting canceled.
Yeah.
So,
We need her
So
so
far.
much.
So far.
Yeah.
And she even had to come in virtually to make sure that in her absence, you
Yeah.
still didn't get canceled.
so true.
What a great asset.
Yeah. Yep.
So you three are all stand-up comedians.
Yep.
Are you all from the Detroit area?
Yes.
Yes.
We all started around the same time.
All right.
Yep.
Now I say Detroit area, but I know there's specifics when it comes to Detroit.
Right.
Well, Carolyn lives in Hamtramck, which is inside of Detroit.
Right.
So it gets a little confusing. And then
Hamtramck is also just terrible. If you're trying to perform on the east side for the first time and that's the first time you're ever reading that,
Yeah.
and then
Yep.
you go there and you're trying to say, it's great to be here in Hamtramck.
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 Yeah.
But yeah, that was my first experience with Hamtramck.
Oh, absolutely. Hamtramck should be like on a professional spelling bee. For
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those little nerdy kids would not know
I was
what
gonna say,
came.
can they do proper nouns? That's great.
Yeah. Exactly.
So Carolyn's from Hamtramck.
Yeah. And then we live literally at 8 Mile and Woodward, which is the cutoff of Detroit. So technically we're Ferndale, but
Right.
we could spit on Detroit from where we live. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
and it's
We
just
do come.
easier to say like we're
And we
Detroit
do all.
comics. Yeah. Yes, we disrespect our city. But yeah, it's just so much easier to say Detroit comics when we're traveling. Because
Right.
you know,
It's
we'd
like,
be
oh,
like, oh,
actually,
we're
we're
from
Ferndale.
Ferndale.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I grew up here in Holland, and for half of my comedy career or whatever, I have been from Holland and like
Right.
living in Holland. But I've always said Grand Rapids comedian
It's
because
easier.
it's the
So
next
much
closest thing.
easier. Yeah.
And no one else would recognize Holland.
Right.
They would assume that I'm Dutch and from the Netherlands.
Right. We have a Holland
Right.
comic.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm one of the few people from here who is not Dutch.
Right.
So
Right.
it wouldn't really work.
Yeah.
So you guys all started around the same time. How long has that been?
About, I guess, 3 years ago now.
Yeah, going on 3 years. I mean, it's hard not to count the pandemic year,
Yeah.
but you still got to count it. I mean,
Exactly.
you're still just as sad.
Once again,
and
that's over
passionate
half of
about
my
stand-up.
career.
Right.
Yeah.
I know.
Jesus, God damn,
Yeah.
that's so crazy to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, we started. I was in December of 2017, and
That was around March.
Yeah, March.
Yeah.
So
17 or 18?
18.
18, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Nice. Did you, and obviously, I'm assuming your first open mics were in Detroit.
Yeah.
You guys are both working for the Independent now, correct?
Yeah.
Or-
Yes.
We're not open currently, but
Well, yeah. What are your
Yeah.
roles in the Independent? And then I'll get back to your
So-
beginning stomping grounds.
Yeah.
I am the social media manager, if you will. There's no managers. We're all
Right.
children
It's
with microphones.
running around. It's pure chaos.
But I make sure.
That's stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Why try
in
to
a
set
nutshell.
order this chaos?
Exactly. But yeah, I'm in charge of promo, so I make sure like all of our social medias are handled. I make sure that while I'm at the show, I either bring like my nice SLR camera or I will just like take footage on my iPhone.
Right.
But I just make sure that I'm on top of that. But we all contribute to like booking and like answering emails. I was the one that started the interviews that we did during shutdown and quarantine. So that was really cool. We got to interview like some really great headliners from all over the nation.
Right.
Yeah.
You can find those interviews still on YouTube and on our IGTV. But yeah, not to
Is
say.
that at Independent CC?
Yeah. At the Independent CC. I'm
The
pretty sure there's a
Independent
D
CC.
there.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, Connor, what do you do at the Indy?
I was basically like the bartender and bouncer and
Hell yeah.
janitor.
She's literally literally the floor manager.
Yeah, I'm like
and
the
she
floor
does it
manager.
so fucking
I manage
well.
everything on the floor.
Yeah.
Literally
Like,
on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like Bart Dangus and Alex Bozanovic, which are two like men who are taller and could totally be the bouncers, but like my short ass comes up, it's like, hey,
Oh, yeah.
no wiggling.
When Connor
your
Don't
ass
fuck
out.
with us, all right?
Yeah.
when Connor is running from behind the bar onto the floor, you know some shit's about to go down.
So watch out.
I can
yeah.
only imagine that's a scary sight as well.
Oh, it really is. Yeah, like a full
Like I
sprint.
go there all pissed off, and I'm actually like, could you please be quiet?
Hi, excuse me.
Yeah.
Pardon me,
Being real
ma'am.
rude.
Yeah.
So where did you guys first start comedy? I know in Detroit, but
I was
your
actually
first-
like Ypsilanti. So
Oh,
I was
it-
living out there at first. And
nice.
so there, and yeah, just in between Detroit and Ypsi.
What was the mic?
I forgot what it was called. It was at like a brewery. Shit. It was so long ago, right? No.
So many beers
such humble
ago.
Right,
beginnings.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, mostly
exactly.
like Prankus, like at LJ's. I was Bart Dangus's open mic, and then Trixie's were like the main ones that we'd go to all the time.
Nice.
Yep,
nice.
yep.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first open mic?
So I actually showcased before I did open mics because my friend, I know I'm so annoying.
Sorry, just sorry. I'm actually much more talented.
So my first time I headlined Ridley's.
Right. And then they never called me back.
They called me for a guest spot. It was weird.
Right, yeah. They just knew.
So actually, my good friend Bree, who I grew up with in my hometown of Clarkston, had been sick of me talking about trying to do stand up
Right.
forever. And she said, yo, my girl is the producer and kind of the showrunner for this all women's kind of talent show, if you will. And it was at the Tangent in Detroit, which is just a independent venue. It's super cool, kind of grungy. And yeah, she was like, hey, I talked to her and she said she'd have you on if you're interested. This is kind of like your make it or break it moment. You have 7 minutes. Good luck.
Right.
And
Put up or
so,
shut up, bitch.
yeah,
Right.
dude. And I went up there and, you know, had my notebook up there and was so fucking nervous. I still have the recording. I will not show it to anybody.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
I think I've posted clips or maybe just pictures. I don't remember of my very first time. My first time was at Kalamazoo, Louis Trophy
Okay.
House or whatever.
Nice.
Or whatever.
Or whatever.
That's the name of their establishment, and I'm just shitting on it. Louis Trophy House, or whatever that piece of shit is. But yeah, that was a fun time. Go on, sorry.
No, you're good. And then after that, I kind of definitely caught the bug. And then afterwards, Bree, my friend again, got in contact with this woman who is a stand-up comedian out of Detroit. Her name's Kaya Quicks. She was putting on women and queer shows, and that was my second showcase. And then after that, I was like, okay, I officially really love this. Now it's time to like do some open mics. And one of the first open mics I did was at Water Brewery in Detroit, and that's when Connor and I met there
Right.
at
Oh, the
my
only
first
other
run of
girl
open
in the
mics.
room.
Yeah, and I've admitted this several times, but I had already been stalking Connor on Instagram because I was trying to find other female comedians
Yeah.
in Detroit. Because every time I would like go to these mics, it was like a fucking dick parade. So
Yeah.
yeah, and she showed up in person. And I was like, oh my god, it's Connor Mead.
Oh, hell yes.
And you know, fucking 3 years later, we're roommates, we're best friends, we work together,
Yeah.
we run a comedy club together. So yeah,
Do it all.
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Crazy how life works.
Honestly,
Right.
Also,
really.
I'd be remiss if I didn't make this joke, and I just have to know it's a joke. So you're
Why do I feel like you're about to do
Yeah.
a fresh five at an open mic?
No.
Or
Right,
something?
yeah.
so
So how are we feeling tonight?
so you're saying that your first set was a showcase at
Yeah.
an all women's showcase.
Correct.
Is that to say that the standard for women's showcases is just
Anyone
regular
can just
open mics?
wander on in.
So again, the showcase, it wasn't a comedy showcase. It was like a talent show for women. So I was the only stand-up comic to do 7 minutes in between like a magician and like a poetry reader.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like very much so like this is the scariest thing I've ever done, and it's also a little inappropriate for what's going on. So yeah, it was like a beautiful, like somebody was like beautiful poetry as they're like crying and like you know their soul is out into the audience, and I'm up there like yeah, dick jokes,
yeah.
It'd be
pussy.
the first time anyone doing stand-up comedy there would be inappropriate.
Right. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Amongst all the beauty.
I actually
Yeah,
just
yeah.
remembered what I was actually at Trumbleplex. It's like a DIY space, and it was like that, like a general anything goes open mic with like, and it's
Yeah.
mostly music and poetry and stuff. And then I'm like, I'm gonna do comedy, I guess. I've never done it before.
Yeah.
And that was like 2 minutes, and I think I got maybe one laugh. But I remember like getting off the stage, and I heard some guy be like, "I thought she was pretty funny." I'm like, "That's it. That's
And
all
that's
I
all
need.
it took.
That's all it
I'll
took."
take
all it
it.
took.
I'll take
Yep.
it. We have one open mic, or no, now 2 open mics. Neither of them are up yet. I say yet because I'm optimistic.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
2 of those mics in Holland, one at Park Theater, which is super dope. Jake works it sometimes.
Nice.
But yeah, that's mostly music, and I'd say 1 or 2 stand-ups there, maybe a week, and that's maybe a week.
Right.
Yeah.
From my recollection, I've only seen myself there and one guy who I only see perform there named Sly Fox, and I've never heard.
Sly Fox.
I've never heard of him
Nice.
anywhere else. Jake is the only
Okay.
exactly. Because he's wild, that's why. Jake's the only other person I know that knows him because
That's so funny.
he only performs at Park Theater.
Yeah.
Is his Facebook name?
He,
Right. Rarely
but also
spotted.
the Elbow Room in Zealand.
okay.
Jared Driesinga, friend of the pod, watches or hosts that show, and they're not coming back yet, or they haven't come back yet. I don't know, dude. COVID sucks.
Yep.
whatever.
Amen.
Yeah,
Slowly
either of
but
you
surely.
get COVID,
I did.
lady, and
Yeah.
you didn't.
She didn't.
I have not gotten it.
And we worked together, so she had to
Yeah.
like basically live at her mom's.
Oh, I was
did.
gonna say, were you living together then?
We
Yeah, we
were,
were.
and our work was like you have to leave your house.
Yeah.
And I had to
Yeah.
go live with my mom
We're
for
not gonna
14
lose
days.
both of you.
Right. Yeah.
Well, they had to lose me too because
they still
they don't
wouldn't-
know how it works. You don't know if
Right.
you're going to get it 10 days later, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was
You
out of
still
work
had
for
to
14 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was insane.
Yeah, the day we were supposed to go back to work is when the second shutdown happened.
Uh-huh.
Oh, this was cool. So get no job, no job.
Right.
No job?
Right.
More no
so
job?
double
Okay.
no job? Cool.
Yeah.
Solid.
I guess that vacation turned into a longer one,
Yeah.
depending on how you looked at it.
Right.
When I got COVID, I got off for 2 weeks, and I was like, it's all right, because I was still getting paid for it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was
we got
also,
sick leave.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was also working for most of the pandemic. I went through like 2 different jobs, 2 or 3 different jobs,
Oh, okay.
by choice.
Ah.
You just were like, fuck this place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, the first one was 2 men in a truck, and I was just like, you
Oh.
know what?
I've applied for that before.
Yeah.
And they're like, honey, I don't think this is for you.
You're like, I'm just looking for a workout. You
Right,
guys
yeah.
aren't gonna.
Right.
But I used to like work at a Menards, and I would
Hell
like
yeah.
lift
Right.
fucking refrigerators and shit. And
Yeah,
If
but
you
it
just
wasn't.
pull-
But it wasn't called Two Men's and Menards.
It wasn't called all.
They're looking for men,
It
baby
wasn't
girl.
all men's nards.
yeah,
Right.
But
I like
also,
put on
there-
a fake mustache. I'm here for 2 men's in a truck. My name's
a-
Connor.
Yes.
yeah, you
They
would
would
pass
know.
on an application.
Yeah, I did. I went in for an interview. I think they thought I was a
Right,
man.
right.
I was gonna say, if you would have zoomed in, you would have had, I think, a better chance. You should
Right.
have done
Yeah.
it during
Yeah,
the pandemic
just put on a like Snapchat filter and
with the beard and
yeah,
everything.
like the
Permanent
cowboy
marker
one.
beard.
Why are you wearing, sir? Why are you wearing a cowboy hat for this interview?
Right.
Professional.
This is my professional bolo tie. You,
Yeah.
you didn't notice that.
Well, this was an interview, so I'm supposed to dress up.
Amazing.
So, you two, I would assume, have pretty different backgrounds, and I
Yeah.
would assume that by your skin color.
Right. Solid.
So, Are
He's
you?
observant.
Yes, I'm
yes,
very.
I know what you're saying because I'm Jewish, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
That's what I was going
15% right here.
50% Jewish.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know on which side?
I think my mom's because I was talking to her and
That
she
makes
just
it
recently
genuine.
told me, yeah.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
true.
No, I'm a
Uh,
big fan of Jews. It's been
I
Me too.
love
well
the
documented
Jews.
on this podcast.
Yes,
That was-
on ours too.
it's like-
honestly.
That was actually our last clip. Was I wish I was Jewish?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. When I found out, I was so excited. I was like, "Do you see this?" Like I showed my dad.
Was it Ashkenazi or
No, it said
Ashkenazi?
European.
I don't. As much as I love them, I still don't know their words.
It's fair.
It said
Fair.
European Jewish, so I don't know what that means because I don't know anything about
Seems
the
even
actual
more
Jewish
authentic,
culture.
honestly.
Yeah.
I just
I-
love 8 Crazy Nights. It's one of my favorite movies. Adam Sandler, mwah, love him.
That's the
it.
extent of my Jewish
Yeah,
love.
that's all I know.
Adam,
And I'm like,
Adam
dreidel, dreidel,
culture.
dreidel.
Adam Sandler. Jeez,
Yes.
sus. So yeah, maybe Jew. And what are you?
Full blown Peruvian woman.
Peruvian.
Yes, South
Hell
American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Tom Segura, My favorite
Dude,
Peruvian.
okay, so I met him when I was super, super drunk because our shout out the baby shower we went to today, and that's the reason why we came late.
Wait, you saw him at the baby shower?
No.
Just now?
He was there.
Yeah, him and Christina P. It was so
Right.
cool.
They-
She's pregnant.
Like true mommies.
yeah,
True
two moms. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's all in a day's work of being a fan. No, but so Lindsay Rendell is our very good friend. Long story longer. She's engaged to Mike Cronin, who opens for
Yeah.
Tom Segura a lot.
Yeah, he opened for him in Detroit.
Yeah.
When I saw him.
Yeah. Lindsay and I were at that show, and we got to go backstage, and I stood on like the Fox Theater stage. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
okay. This is a shitty story because I was also there. That's the thing. Like I didn't know either of you, but
Yes.
this is
I wasn't
happening.
there. I was
Okay,
pissed. I
well,
was like, I
good
should have
then.
went. I think I had a show.
Then
I
we
wanted
can
to go.
connect on this.
Yeah.
So fuck you. No, I'm sorry.
You're welcome. I
So
don't.
you guys went. You were backstage, or you were just up at the.
So we sat in the audience up on the balcony. So
Okay.
Mike actually bought our tickets because Tom is like, "This is how I make a living. You gotta actually pay for your
Yeah.
girlfriend and her fucking dumbass friend."
Right.
I
don't know these bitches.
Right. I
Right,
don't
yeah.
fucking know these
Fuck.
bitches. And Mikey Cronin put us in the balcony. The show was amazing. Mike had a great set. And then after everyone left is when he let us go backstage, and like we stood on the Fox Theater stage. It was beautiful. I was like, oh God, I hope one day I get to
One
do
day.
this. It was really cool. And then we went to the green room because Mike had to grab something, and Tom was in there. And my drunk ass, because what do you do at a comedy show?
Yeah,
you get
exactly.
hammered, right?
Right.
So my drunk ass sits down, and I'm like,
You're like, hola.
I'm Peruvian too.
we can
And I was
talk now.
and I was like,
Friends?
way to steal all my mom jokes. Like just like trying to be cool and funny and like
And he's
prove
like,
to
I
him
hate-
that I'm
who's
not
this
a
annoying
typical
bitch?
girl, and it just
Yeah.
like comes off 1,000 times worse. And he's just kind of looking at me like, oh yeah, cool. And like that's it. Like
Yeah.
wouldn't smile, wouldn't like kind of just like stopped making eye contact with me almost immediately. It was really I really
calling
embarrassed
security.
myself. But
Yeah.
Cronin's, gal, my girl Lindsay, she was blackout drunk, and
Hell
she's
yeah.
just like going up to like the like where like the snacks are and shit.
Oh, yeah.
And she's just putting her fingers in the fruit bowl and like eating out of the fruit bowl in front of Tom Segura, and she's like, "Yeah, nice to meet you," and then after
fan.
big fan. And after Tom met Lindsay, he told Mike, like, your girl's pretty cool. Like, she's all right. But, like,
Yeah.
fuck that annoying Peruvian girl.
Yeah.
But then, yeah.
All that means is you should have been drunker.
Oh, I
been
guess
blackout next
so.
time.
Jesus Christ.
If you black out, maybe you.
Yeah.
Just
you
start
pers-
eating.
Yeah. Ever since that moment, I've been an alcoholic. So, yeah, I've been really working on it.
I've been an alcoholic and just filling my face whenever a man is watching.
Yes.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
may
well,
think it's cool.
Whenever you want to impress someone.
couple different meanings to that one, but yeah. But yeah, we
leaving
ended
it up for interpretation.
Yes. To
True
just
artist.
kind of close out the story, though, we did get to go on his tour bus because again, Mike had to grab something, and we just awkwardly sat outside in the parking lot, and Tom was really sweet at that point. He was like, "You guys can come up." I think it's because he was super stoked. I don't know if you listened to your mom's house.
Yes, I do.
But when remember when he bought his first tour
Yes.
bus and it was like a huge thing,
Tour
Yeah.
bus
he
fan.
literally was like, "Okay, these bitches are annoying, but I need more people to see what I bought."
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
he's like, "Let me
This.
show you my
if
toy."
If I can get people talking about the tour bus
Yes.
randomly on Twitter or
Yes.
Instagram,
Yes.
generate more. Yeah, because it was
Yeah.
the tour bus wars with Bert.
Exactly.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. So after that, and after I realized, okay, shut it down. Don't be so drunk and annoying. Just be a professional. Like, this might be a good opportunity for you. You know what I mean? So I start to talk to him and his manager, and I was like, all right, honestly, sorry I'm being so obnoxious, but if you have any advice for an up-and-coming comic,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. And they were so cool after that. They were like, okay, this bitch is serious. And he says to me, just don't ever stop doing it.
Right.
And I was just like, Tom Segura just told me to
That
never
tattoo
quit.
on your asshole.
Yeah, I will. It's actually already
Dash
there.
Tom Segura.
Yeah, exactly.
The only part you can
Yes.
see when you spread the
Yeah,
Yes.
like on the cheek.
Tommy. Just says Tommy.
dash Tommy Buns.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yep. So yeah, that's my experience with another Peruvian comic.
Nice.
Yeah.
Half Peruvian.
Half
We got to
Peruvian.
make distinctions around here.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
So you meet any cool Jews or whatever the rest of you is? What is the rest of you? We talk about race.
Oh, just
We talk about race a lot on this podcast. I'm realizing.
So do we. Yeah,
yeah.
it's
it
a
comes
it's a
up.
thing.
It's funny.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
So what are you, kid?
Hey, what's in ya? Like,
Or what do you want in you?
Right, yeah. It depends on what day of the week it is. I don't know. But, mostly just like fucking British and Scottish, Irish, Welsh,
Nice.
and then I was like Jewish, and then Asian was down there too. It didn't say like what specific region really.
But
It was
low
just, like,
percentage,
Yeah,
I'm
it was like
sure.
2%, like Genghis Khan Asian, you
Yeah.
know, because like I think
Right.
everyone has a little bit.
A little bit of Mongolian. And
yeah,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
Nice. So Welsh, Scottish. Do
Yeah.
you have any like grandparents that are
Jewish.
straight from the motherland? Is what I was gonna say.
I don't know, but my mom did tell me that like there was like a long time ago, like her last name, like apparently they had to change their last name.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it might have been something like Jewy before.
Chewy.
Not
wasn't like-
just Jewy, too Jewy.
Yeah, a little too Jewy. You
A
gotta
little too
change
Jewy
it.
to the fact you either got to change it or get married quick.
Right, yeah. Something needs
Yes.
to happen.
My mom's family also had to change their last name. My grandpa's family is now Dillon, Dillin, but before it was very Irish and it was Odillion.
Oh.
But then they dropped both of the O's to just Dillon instead of
Oh, okay. Well, that's-
because it's
Hey.
rumored because of
because of like the Irish hate.
well that and
Slavery.
Yes, I also do have Black Irish. That's on the other side, but
Which is ironic.
both slaves.
Yes.
No, it was what's it called?
You should work for Two Men in a Truck.
I did, and I quit.
Oh wait, you
remember?
did. Yeah. Shit.
Yep, I was a Real House nigga. The whole house, actually.
Well, that's what happens when you're cute.
But no, it was they were associated with Jesse James apparently,
Oh.
like back in the day. So they moved down south
Shit,
and
okay.
then changed the Super Mick name to
Yeah.
something a little less drunk. Anyways,
Got it.
so I'll go back to you then, Connor, because your answer was a lot shorter.
Yeah. my bad. Not as
This bitch
spicy.
talks too much.
Yeah, not as spicy. It's a little racially charged.
But I mean, you've met Eddie Pepitone, like a lot of the
yeah.
comics from the indie that came through.
I met Paul Pipitone. Is that the same?
Polly Puppet. No.
Not quite.
Randy Pep. I don't know.
Shout
Well,
out.
Is he Jewish?
Doug
I don't know if he's Jewish. He might be.
Dimsdale
see it.
Dimmadome.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jeremiah Watkins, is he Jewish?
I don't think so.
He's got the
No,
nose.
he's pretty
I know.
Christian, I believe. I think he grew up very
Yeah, I don't think I've met any
like
like
almost in a cult.
famous Jewish comedians. I don't think.
Have you met any famous comedians? I know you guys have met.
I guess it depends on what level of fame.
Fame,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Eliza Traeger.
I think I
partied
say
with us.
Eliza. Well, Eliza Minnelli came through. The
Right.
Independent.
Yeah. She
We
woke
met
from
Lizzo
the
at the,
grave.
at the
I know.
Independent.
I was gonna say. I
Yes.
heard that story.
Yeah.
And watched it.
Nice.
Watched it as in saw it on.
Like we recorded it.
Yeah.
This is her standing at the bar.
No, I saw the pictures and then read it. That's
yeah,
that's
yeah.
watching something
Yeah.
to
I
me,
guess.
I guess.
Got
Using
it.
your eyes.
But I was gonna ask you, who growing up got you into comedy, or what was your first introduction to stand up?
I guess honestly, Louis C.K.
Are
Let's be honest.
Do you guys
Hell
still
yeah.
feel shame about loving Louis?
I feel no shame.
He's so funny.
Rarely
Sorry,
ever do I
he's
feel
so
shame.
funny.
No, I love Louis C.K. I can separate the animal
Right.
from the artist. You know?
Especially when you're looking back. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't go in a room with him.
Yeah.
I mean, I would.
I mean,
Drop them trousers.
but if he dropped him, maybe I'd like turn
Right.
and walk away. No.
God, I bet it's such a sight.
I'd be like, how much time do I get?
Right. Yeah.
So I'm opening.
Right.
Opening
Solid.
what exactly?
I
Right.
was gonna say I'd personally watch him masturbate for at least
Yeah.
Right.
5 minutes.
I guess I was just trying to be funny. I'd probably go in a room with him. Like, you want to hang out?
I was just trying to be
Right.
funny and or PC, but
But
I'd probably
when it
still-
comes down to it,
I'd
Right.
chill.
let's suck his
Right.
dick.
I'd
Connor, be yourself, okay? This is, trying to promote a podcast
yeah,
here.
I was gonna say, this is a podcast. This is honesty.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, I concur. Louis was one of my favorite stand-ups growing up. I think, unfortunately, like my first intro to stand-up was like Dane Cook and
Right.
okay, this is a rude question. I've been told, societally speaking. How old are you guys?
You're adorable. I'm 65, and Connor is
137.
Duly noted.
yeah.
28.
But our pussies are 16. So.
R. Kelly, hit him up.
Hey,
Tighten
piss on you. I'm
a-
31. Connor,
31 and
how old are you?
28.
Yeah.
28. Yeah, there you go.
So around, I guess, when were you introduced to CK?
I don't know. I just remember like
Is that the
Comedy
first-
Central.
Okay.
You know what? Honestly, Girls Gone Wild got me into comedy, I think.
That's
'Cause I remember being
amazing.
young and seeing Girls Gone Wild. I'd be like, oh my God, there's boobies.
And if I stay up late enough
Yeah.
to watch the stand-up on Comedy
Yeah.
Central,
yeah, and then you can see tits.
then I can see
My like,
kind of
little
tits.
like afraid of
Damn.
being any kind of lesbian was like, oh my God, boobs.
Yeah.
And then like, oh, I got stand-ups on too.
You
Okay.
fell for their plan. That's
Yeah,
what
they got
wanted.
me.
Yeah.
They got me.
That was the real propaganda push by
Right,
Comedy
yeah.
Central.
Mm-hmm.
We will get stand-up comedy, but as long as they love tits.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
We'll get them in there.
Yeah.
So were you on that same train of tits and comedy in Comedy Central?
I was more in the realm of Blunt and Cat Williams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I was
More urban route.
15. Well, I mean, look at the color of my skin, sir.
If we're gonna address it, we're gonna do it twice.
Exactly. Exactly. Cat Williams for sure. When I was very young, when I was a teenager and smoking way too much weed for how young I was. And then as I got older, I started to get into like Ellen DeGeneres' like old stand up,
Right.
like her HBO special. I remember watching that and super gay, but I cried at the end of it and finally realized like this is also an industry for women too, as much as we, especially at that time, have to like fight to get the respect and for people to be like, oh shit, women are actually kind of funny.
Yeah. Instead of just funny for a woman. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So after that, those two sets, and then of course like Kevin Hart, you know, I loved
Yeah.
him. Bill Burr is my favorite comedian.
Right.
Yeah. So those are the people I think
Hell yeah.
that. Yeah.
And now at the time you were probably consuming Ellen's stand-up, she was already a talk show host, I would assume, right?
She was. I think she had just started. She had just started. I think she was maybe like a couple or 2 or 3 years in as
Right.
a host. So yeah.
So do you look, I guess for me, I would be looking at that stand-up as like you can start here and because
Oh
you
yeah.
you already see the map, you know what I mean?
Right.
So like if you're watching like if you've just heard of David Letterman, like him, or if you that's a poor example.
No,
Or
it's
like,
actually a good example.
but
I
yeah.
get what you're saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
if you had just saw David Letterman when he had just started like hosting late night, and
Right.
then you're
Right.
like, well, what did this guy do? He did stand up, and
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
that you can get to this
Exactly.
and meeting all of these people.
Right.
Was
Yeah.
that? Do you think you saw that? Okay, now I'm kind of jumping around. What
I love it.
What pushed you to start stand up?
Again, it was my friend Bree. Like I owe literally everything that I've done in the past 3
Right.
years to my friend Bree because she actually was like,
It was
I am
just the nut
so
up or
sick
shut
of you
up.
saying
Yeah.
that you want to one day do stand up. So
Right.
here you go, bitch. And that's really what. And then after I did it, like I said, it was
Right.
you catch the bug, you have the bug.
Yeah.
You know, we all catch
Right.
it.
I'm trying to get on tonight.
So,
Same.
all three of us, baby
Right.
We're gonna
boy.
be fighting after this.
Right.
Racing to them open mic.
Literally.
Check out Make It Spicy every Sunday, except this one because we're gonna get there.
Yeah, there's no more spots left.
But Connor, what was your main push to do the your first weird open mic?
I don't know. I guess like I've always kind of been like the funny kid because you know I need attention somehow.
Yeah.
And so
Middle
this-
child.
But I never thought like oh yeah, middle child for sure. But I never like was like I want to be a stand up when I grow up. Like that never crossed my mind until one day I just kind of did. So like I watched stand up all the time and
Right.
liked it. I was like, wait, I think I could do it. And I was just drunk at that Trembleplex place I was talking about. And there was one other person that did stand up and he just sucked. I'm like, I think I could do better. than
That's
this guy.
always you need that catalyst.
yeah. You need that person.
It puts realism into your like. Oh, they had the balls to do it and
Right.
were absolutely awful.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we've all gone to an open mic and saw that. Like that was my first open mic experience. I went to Sunday Night Funnies and I saw that person for me. I'll leave names out.
Yeah.
But I saw that person for me, and I was like, oh, and they didn't kill themselves after
Right.
this.
Right.
They're okay.
Yeah. They're still trying to like
They're gonna
try
do it
shitty
again.
pickup lines
Yeah.
on girls that were also on the lineup after this. Like,
Right.
yeah, it, I can be not that shitty,
Yeah.
like as a
Yeah.
whole.
Yeah,
Exactly.
for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's good for people to see, or for beginners or people who really want to try to see another person bomb
Yeah.
Right.
and other people kill, obviously for inspirational purposes. But
Yeah.
I think both experiences go hand in hand.
Oh,
For
I
sure.
think
someone
the
amazing bomb is like the best thing in the entire
Oh
universe.
yeah. Ooh, I
That's-
eat that shit up.
my girlfriend's favorite part of coming to the comedy shows is not to support me, but
To watch people bomb.
yes, she basks in the cringe.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It can be fun to watch. It can be hard to watch.
We have a message from our sponsors, Off the Grid. If the name sounds familiar, it's because they were previous guests on this podcast, and they are back to let you know that they are opening their doors. April 2nd is their grand opening from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and you can find them at 2863 West Shore Drive, Suite 114. If you don't remember what Off the Grid is, they are a glass shop and curated vintage apparel store, looking to curate really your vibe for the weekend. Whatever you need before you go off the grid, stop at this place. House of the Vintage and Handcrafted, created in secret. Once again, that's Off the Grid, located at 2863 West Shore Drive, Suite 114 in Holland. Check it out.
At the end of the day, we all learn something.
For real.
Do either of you have a big open mic cringe moment that comes to mind?
I do.
Go ahead.
That was
'cause I gotta
rather
think.
quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's because it's like the biggest. I think about it every day.
The biggest life cringe.
Yeah, it was just so. I closed out like a graduation show at Ridley's. I never took the class because I don't believe in that. But
I don't believe in taking stand-up comedy
Like, go to a
classes.
bar, honey.
Right. Right.
Don't have to spend $300.
It's called an open mic. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
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 But so it's like everyone's like families and stuff. And it's just the biggest bomb I think I've ever had. And I don't know. It was just like,
Oh, it was your own cringe moment.
we're talking about other people.
Oh, no, I mean,
We're talking about our own. That's
Yo.
like, yep, I got a few.
yeah, no, or no, we've all had that.
Yeah.
Not to cut off your story, I completely understand. I should have been more
Okay,
specific.
somebody else. Sorry, I don't know if you have one.
I got one real quick as an example,
Yeah.
if
Okay.
you will, and it was brought up on Facebook a few weeks ago. There
yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Tinker. It was a show at Tip Top before the times, and this guy who had, I think he had sent a message to the open mic before saying like, "Hey, I'm gonna crush this crowd, dude! I'm so excited."
Ooh. Don't ever
And-
do that.
Yeah, and then most of his set was just accents, and might I say not like great.
Yeah.
Not great accents, no matter how racist.
Right. You're
But
preaching.
his big his big hitter was like an older black man or an older black accent, I guess. But then he closed on a bit with a Chinese accent. But then
Come on.
he had the callback
What?
with the black accent.
Oh.
So I mean, like, yeah,
Interesting.
it's real great comedic writing. But that with his
And that was Shane Gillis.
Right, yeah. In the flesh.
but his dad and his sister were sitting right in front of me and recording the whole thing, and I was just like, this is hard. This is really hard.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I'm giving too much away if I talk about what he. Anyway, the caption on the video, because he posted it on YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah, because
Okay.
there's
The
just
audacity.
evolutions of cringe. Because like the
Yes.
set itself was rough.
Yeah. And you're gonna
then
be like proud of it and
the
post it
enthusiasm
online.
from his parents was also like, that's oof. And
Ooh.
yeah,
Yeah.
the pride in posting it and then saying that Tip Top was too what was it, Tip Top sensitive?
Of course they were.
Oh,
It's
God.
totally their fault.
Yeah, it was a great evolution of cringe. But yes, that's my example, Connor.
So there's this guy. I'm just gonna like name drop him because I don't even know if he's a real human being. But I was at, and you'll find out why I say this. So I was at Punchline in Detroit, and there was a guy in full clown gear, and it's all marijuana themed. And
Or
he,
20 clowns.
yeah, it's marijuana clown at marijuanaclown.com. Look it up. He has $50 T-shirts that you can buy. I have been on that site a few times. But-
Furiously.
and I've wanted, like, I might buy one of those shirts just because, but it's like $50, but I want one so bad. but he's just sitting there waiting for his time. He goes near the end. It's just this fucking clown sitting there. And everyone's like, what the fuck's going on with this guy? And he goes up there, doesn't mention anything about weed, no clown shit. He just complains about his wife the whole time in full fucking clown gear.
yeah.
And it's like, all right, that's my time. Like,
Yep.
That's the best bit.
it was so, like, I know. I was like,
Don't address it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't say anything about it.
Yep.
And then he just plugs his website and gets off stage. Oh,
Because
it's
I got
so
a
funny.
brand to promote. Keep
Yeah.
it going.
Oh my god.
He's actually a pretty cool guy.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
gonna lie.
yeah, he's very, very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you name dropped marijuana clown. That's not. It's not really revealing an identity, but,
Right. I don't
but
know
it is a
his real
brand.
name.
For
but-
sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Any cringe come to mind?
Honestly, I was there that night too. And it's
She took
gotta
my
be,
story.
yeah. No, we're sharing it. We share a lot of things.
Share everything in the
But
sense.
the thing that stood out for me in that situation is Punchline is a black room.
Mm-hmm.
So no one does well there. And
Right.
so, like, again, the caucasity and just
Yeah.
like the arrogance of this man to think that
Oh wait, it was a white clown. You
Yeah.
didn't say
he was
that.
a white man. Yeah, white. Yep. Yep.
Wait, you're telling me this
No one
clown
was in
white.
blackface. Yes.
What?
Yes.
Whoa.
And just notoriously, no one does well there.
Yeah.
And so, again, just to watch him with all the confidence in the world complain about his wife
Did
to
he
like.
do decent?
No,
No.
I mean, there was you could hear a pin drop.
Yeah.
It was real.
Everyone was
bad.
like, "What the fuck's going on?"
Yeah,
the only
yeah.
thing whiter, the only thing whiter than a clown is a clown complaining about his wife.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yes.
It was very
Yes.
much. Like,
Exactly.
it
Yep.
was a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
Yep.
the comfort that cringe can bring. It's
Yeah.
nice.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
Absolutely.
cool. At least I
Yep.
don't have claw makeup on.
So you guys are, I believe, this last week was 8 episodes in, correct?
Yeah.
8 or 9 episodes into each other's mothers.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
tomorrow's gonna be episode 9.
Yep.
There you
We're
go.
actually recording 2 tomorrow, so 9 and 10.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
This was supposed to be. We're not even gonna get into it, but yeah, we were supposed to record 2 today too.
Aw.
Ah.
Cut that part out. I don't like that. Anyways, that makes me sound bitter. Why, besides quarantine, why did you start the podcast? What made you? Well, first, were you fans of podcasting prior to getting into it, or
Yeah.
even
Yes.
are you now
Yeah.
after getting into it?
I do like.
Yes and yes. Yeah,
Yes.
well, I'm a big fan of podcasting. I think it's a great way to get to know your comics that
Right.
you're big fans of. You know, it's like it's great to watch, like listen to an album or watch a special, but it's completely different to just watch your comics like riff and just have
Yeah.
fun and
Yeah.
and just be super open about who they are and like,
Talk about their life.
really showcase
Yeah.
their personality. Yeah,
Right.
And like
I
talk
love
about the industry too. That's what I
Yeah.
love. Like
That's my
those
favorite
are my favorite
conversation.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like the Honeydew. I don't know if you
Ryan
heard
Sickler.
of it. Yes.
Dude, if you name a podcast, I've probably listened. I
yeah.
listen to podcasts more than music.
Okay.
So every drive and like every day at work, all hours of the day, I'm
Hell yeah.
sadly consuming podcasts.
Yes. Big fan of the ones that are like a little serious, but they're obviously like interviewing comics, so it
Right.
gets funny, you know?
Yeah,
Right.
with talking about, like you said, the
Yes.
Honeydew, talking about trauma and things like that.
Yes. Yep.
Also a new one, and I don't know if they stole your gig or whatever. But
I know who you're gonna bust.
Bloodbath.
Bloodbath.
Yeah.
We listen to it so much,
I
but
know.
we started
We
ours
love them
first.
Yeah, I
Started
know.
ours
That's what I
first.
was saying. That's what I was saying. That's the only reason I could say they stole. it.
Right, but like how
It
many? Like
really
just because it's
irks
3
me.
women.
Yeah.
What? That's why.
Yeah.
Like 3 men, like a million of threes of men's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
Right.
2 of them are comedians, but all 3 of you are comedians.
Yeah,
So.
so it's a little different.
Yeah.
They're talented and pretty. We're
Bobby Lee's
You
wife.
guys are
What's her
all
name
right,
again?
yeah, we're yeah.
What's Bobby Lee's wife's name?
Kalila.
Kalila
Kalila.
and fiance.
So
But-
yes,
sorry.
Beautiful
sorry.
creature.
Kalila is so fucking hot. But I
you're
don't think she's a
listening,
stand-up. I
If
think
you're
she's
listening,
just a
no,
podcaster.
Yeah, she just does podcasting with. Well, was just doing podcasting with Bobby and managing his life overall. And
Right.
well-being.
Yes.
Life
But yeah.
coach.
Yes.
Now she's, I think, is like an official podcaster. Not that she wasn't before, but branching out on her own.
Yeah.
I now, as I just started saying this as a kind of joke, I feel like I'm just being misogynistic, so I'll quit.
You're doing great.
Now I can consider her
Yeah.
a real podcaster because she went out on her own. No, because there was a shit ton of articles about Kalila being like a what are they called? Gold Digger, and just like mooching off
hate
of
that.
Bobby and his fame. When,
up. They
yeah,
love each
it was,
other.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you can see it the way they interact. It's so cute.
If
Fuck
you've
everyone.
ever like witnessed a show or just even like an Instagram post between the two,
Yeah.
But yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, was it Tiger Lily?
Tiger Belly.
Tiger Belly.
Tiger
Yeah.
Belly.
It's so cute. I love that podcast.
Any other podcast fans? Then we'll get into your podcast. We'll talk about
I'm a
the
big
big
fan of The Bonfire.
Yeah, the
That's one of my
Bonfire's
favorites.
hilarious.
It's so good.
You listen to it way more than I do. I've
Yeah.
listened to like a handful of
No
episodes.
offense, you look like a Big J fan.
I know, and I get that all the time. We literally, I also love Legion of Skanks.
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
I
we love Legion of
I love
Skanks.
it. It's funny, but
Yeah.
we always
Did
do
you
a bit
submit
like
for Skankfest?
I did, but I sent in the wrong video
We
because I'm a
sent in
fucking
really
idiot.
shitty clips.
Yeah.
Like,
Like it starts
idiots.
off really well, but I forgot halfway through it. Like there's two that was really similar.
I did realize I fucked up one joke. I think one or two jokes in
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
Skankfest
Yeah.
submission too.
They're like literally in the middle of it, I go, oh my god, I forgot my joke. Like out loud, I'm like, I just fucking sent that. I mean, I also have like it was like good laughs and shit, but like that just looks so unprofessional.
Right.
I had the same one where I literally said, oh, I just fucked that up. And,
Yeah.
And then I went back and just did the bit anyways. But,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shout out Skankfest.
Well, there's always next year.
Yeah, and we even like met. We had Lewis do the Independent.
Lewis and Kurt Metzger when
Yeah,
they were doing their
when they-
podcast tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
cool
It was
dudes.
awesome. We partied with them all
Yeah,
night.
they're
They were
cool.
really, really cool.
I would imagine that the Independent gives you guys a great, not only like a seat of for greatness, but just
Wow, greatness.
No, I'm saying a seat to see greatness. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Like Kurt Metzger and Louis J. Gomez.
Yeah, great.
But
Yeah.
I'm like, but it's a great tool, and
Oh yeah,
not only being there and having it at your disposal, so
Mm-hmm.
to speak, but just the people that come through there and the
Yeah.
influences and things like that.
Yeah.
definitely met cool people.
Yeah,
Lots of cool people.
like Lizzo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, we have her
For
number.
starters,
Like, you can hit her
Lizzo.
up. No, yeah, best comedian to go through there, Lizzo.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. best comic to grace the stage of the Independent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lizzo.
And they
easily,
say nobody
hands
books
down.
women, you know?
Right. Yeah.
She dropped in. We gave her the mic.
Yes. Yep.
But all right, back to podcast. So
Yes.
besides the quarantine, what made you start Each Other's Mothers?
So I had been talking about starting a podcast for probably 2 years
Yeah.
or something like that, maybe going on 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I always wanted it to be an interview. Like I wanted to have comics on, and I wanted them to talk to me about the people that they chose to be their families outside of their immediate families.
Yeah.
Like I want to hear about your best friend. I want to hear about, you know, all the trouble you got into as teenagers
Right.
and blah, blah, blah. So kind of Honeydew-esque. Maybe meets like Good For You with Whitney Cummings,
Yeah.
meets blah, blah, blah. You know, like I had this whole, and I'm a huge fan of Andrew Schultz as well.
Yes.
So I was thinking like still kind of silly and a little racist and
Yes.
whatever.
Yeah, a little
You know,
problematic.
problematic.
Yeah.
But I had this whole vision. And then one night we were drunk at the Independent and we
Yeah.
were getting in my car, and I remember being like, I can't wait for us to start a podcast. We're going to do it one day. We're going to do it one day. And then Connor drunkenly goes, yeah, we can call it Each Other's Mothers. And we just like
I was so
started
proud of
laughing
myself.
because we like take care of each other, you
Yeah.
know? So
Biggest accomplishment.
Yeah.
we
It's
like mother each other. And so then after that I was like, oh, that's actually kind of cool. It kind of goes with the theme that I like want to, you know, kind of
Right.
give to the world.
Right.
And then the more I thought about it, and then the pandemic, and for me to like sit around and be like, okay,
Let me try to
You're-
get comics in here.
yeah, it was just
Yeah.
kind of like in the point of my quote unquote tiny little career, I really need to focus on being funny. And then maybe later on, like 5-10 years from now, I can really interview some really great comics
Right.
about their lives and
Yeah.
their chosen families. So then I was like, okay, obviously it was going to be me and Connor the whole time. And then I was like, who's another person? Carolyn Paul.
Yeah. The three of us also went on tour together. It
Yep.
was like just the funnest thing in the entire
Yeah,
universe.
like, all the conversations we had in the car were fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
All of our trips were so fun, just fucking laughing the whole
Yeah.
fucking time.
And I bet looking back, you wish you were recording those too.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
We do have
And
some
I'm sure-
footage, and
We
that's
do
like kind
have
of
some
our
great
intro.
footage.
It's like a lot of us goofing around.
yeah.
Just the goofs.
being
Exactly. So the original idea was supposed to be a little serious and kind of funny, and then it just turned into us like talking about
being
double
so
penetration and you know
No, sex
fucking
dolls and-
uterus.
It's It's mostly just about sex.
The,
Like,
the,
really.
the sex doll conversation has been my favorite.
Yes.
The hermaphroditic stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
yes.
best combo.
Best
Titties and
one.
dick.
Yep. All day,
the best
baby.
combo.
Titties and dick.
Titties and dick.
What
Who's
else do you need?
Exactly.
Right.
Who's asking for less?
Right.
Exactly. So yeah, now it's just 1000% just a comedy podcast and us just goofing, and we'll eventually have more guests on, and,
Right. And you take
open it up.
viewer questions as well.
Yeah.
We just started doing
Instagram
that, but
views.
yeah, just started doing that,
fun.
and it's definitely like a AMA, ask us anything,
Yeah.
and we go from there. I mean, it's a lot of just riffing and
Some of it
having
also
fun.
follow them at each other's mothers pod on Instagram.com. You don't even have to ask a question, just drop your appreciation.
Yeah,
It's also
Yes.
appreciated.
nice things. Or
Yes,
talk shit.
please.
Either
Talk
works.
shit, we'll talk shit back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Well, and the whole theme of like each other's mothers, like we're ready to like mother people and give
Mm-hmm.
bad advice, maybe good advice,
Right.
and see where it goes.
Well,
Whatever advice we got.
Exactly.
Do our best.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is have either of you familiar with, you brought up Whitney Cummings, and I kind of want to talk about it, but not really.
Understandable. Yeah.
Just because I don't want to. Anyways, Endless Honeymoon podcast. Are you either of you familiar with that?
With Natasha
Yeah,
and
Moshe.
so I've listened to a few episodes. I just recently started getting super into Natasha. We listened to her album on the way here.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. I like Natasha Leggero. I think I liked her more after Endless Honeymoon. It's a
For sure.
It's a decent podcast. Relationship.
Right.
advice
Well, and their
stuff like
special
that.
was really good.
Yes. Yeah.
Loved their special.
Is it called the Endless Honeymoon?
Yes.
Special. But yeah, one Moshe does a set, Natasha does a set, and they do a set together. Really great.
That's cute.
Ow! I keep banging this burn on my leg, and it's hurting my finger.
Oh.
Anyways, but I brought that podcast up because I do love the viewer interaction. The advice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I feel like doing this podcast is somewhat of a service, but that's like the direct service.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a direct outcome of service or whatever. And we're always searching for immediate satisfaction, and that's another way to please
Right.
that. So I commend you on that, and I'm looking for, hey, send me questions. All I
a lot
want
of fun.
all I want is interaction.
Right.
Right.
But yeah,
People
you,
feel involved. They want to watch more. And
exactly.
Yeah, exactly,
I was
that
just gonna
too.
say, how have you guys? Because you've drummed up a decent following quite quickly.
mostly her friends.
No, that's not true. I mean, I went to Ridley's open mic, and some kid came up to me after, and he was like, not to be creepy, but I just started getting into comedy. I know who you are, and I thought I should shake hands with you. And also, I listened to your podcast, and I was like,
Right.
oh my God. I was so like taken back.
And
That was really cool.
I've had that maybe twice, but it's
Yeah.
still
feels so
awesome
cool.
Yeah.
to hear. Oh, like what I was just talking into a microphone, like, and not even on stage, so you didn't have to see me.
Right, you chose.
Yeah.
You chose to do this,
Right.
and
Yep.
for usually a long period of time.
Yep.
So one, we appreciate all our listeners and viewers
Of
everywhere
course.
on whatever channel.
Yes.
But I just made a gross ASMR noise. Into I'm
It's that cottonmouth, baby.
Yeah, I know. It's a little cottonmouth. I just noticed it. Very conscious. But would this be your social media expertise at work? Is that how you've gotten the podcast out a lot? Because it does seem like I said, very quickly, 8 episodes in, you guys have a decent following.
We do, and we're very thankful for that. And we're very excited to see where it goes, because
Yeah.
even like our sound engineer Ellen, she's like, don't beat yourselves up, because there's been a couple times where like we didn't really love that episode, but we're gonna release it anyway.
Right.
Just being women about it, if you will.
I'm the same way, by the way. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
it's not a woman thing.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
I'm a bitch. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I was gonna say that, but you said it.
But no, I think it's, if anything, it's a creator thing, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
more specifically, comedians are, some of us, I think the decent
Right.
ones are
Yeah.
a lot more self-critical.
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
So it is harder to put out things that you're not 100% about.
For
Yeah.
sure. You gotta love it, because you want other people to love it just as much, if that makes sense. Because
Yeah.
if you're like, this is okay, then other people are going to think, this is
it's
okay.
okay.
Your heart's
Yeah.
not in it,
And
you know?
then what kind of comedian are you? Okay.
Right.
Right.
and
Yeah.
Exactly.
No one wants to be that.
Right.
Right.
You're
Yeah.
only as good as the content you put out. And
Yes. Amen. So Ellen has definitely humbled us a couple times and she makes sure we're like grounded at all times. She's actually the best sound engineer and producer in the world. We could not have. I know. No offense. No offense. But yeah, she's just so great, and she
JK,
reminds
shouts out,
us.
Ellen.
Yeah, shout out to Ellen. She reminds us like, hey, we're probably not going to be super great at this for another 100 episodes. Like,
Right.
just have fun and enjoy
Right.
the ride. And I have to constantly be reminded of that because I am a perfectionist and I am a pain in the ass. So yeah, it's been great, and
we are like improving. I
we
feel
are,
like
absolutely.
every episode. I like
The more
feel
you
more
do
and
it.
more better. So
Yeah.
of course, I go back and watch them. I never thought I would, but now I'm like, I'm actually enjoying. It. I'm like, hey, look at me hanging out with my friends.
yeah,
It's so
Yeah,
nice.
look at us laughing.
So on
Yeah.
YouTube, you guys are on a YouTube channel.
Yes, we are.
YouTube as well. What's the channel?
Each Other's Mothers podcast.
Does it have
Okay.
a period in between?
There's
each
no
other?
period.
No. Okay.
Nope, just Each Other's
mind.
Mothers podcast.
Awesome.
This is why she's
Yeah.
the media person.
But that's also that's the channel and never mind.
Yeah.
I won't confuse people with my own questions.
It's all good. It's all good.
Awesome. Is there anything else you guys would like to promote at all?
Yeah, I got a little thing. I do every
Please.
Wednesday. I have a Twitch stream.
Yes.
It's called Crafts. If you go to craftswithcuties.com, every Wednesday at 8 p.m., I make crafts with like musicians and comedians. Like last week, me and my good friend Baham John, he has his own Twitch stream also. We like painted each other's faces like clowns.
It's so fun.
It was, it's fun.
Speaking of
Yeah.
clowns.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of clunes.
Yeah, we just make whatever like little things, painting, maybe goo, like little household crafts, and it's really fun.
When did you
Yeah.
start that?
I think I'm on like my 11th episode of it.
So 11 weeks.
Yeah, because it's a weekly thing, and it's really fun.
Oh yeah.
It's a little stressful, but because it's like live and
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
cool.
what this was too. It was
Yeah.
stressful when we were trying to do it live.
right. 'Cause
And
you're like
then-
on a time crunch and
Yeah. See,
no
and we would
editing.
never start at the same time. So
Right.
It's
yeah,
just like, hey, catch us live around this time.
Yeah.
right, yeah,
Right.
Just kind
Every
of pay
Sunday.
attention. Yeah,
Well, anything that you care about and you're passionate about is going to be stressful.
Exactly.
Right.
Period.
Because you want it.
Yeah.
So Crass with Cuties
yeah.
every Wednesday
At 8 p.m.
Yep.
At Twitch.
On
If you
Twitch.
literally type in craftswithcuties.com and it'll take you there. I should probably
You have a
restream.
website? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, technically, yeah, we bought the domain. 'Cause
You go
they're like $15.
Oh yeah, was it?
And I was surprised that it
Fuck it.
exists, but
Oh yeah.
like it wasn't
Surprised
taken yet.
nobody else took it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's such a clever name, no one's thought of this before.
No one else
Crazy.
felt like they were a cutie.
Yeah, no,
Wanted to do
no
some
one has any
crafts?
confidence.
You can change it to Crafts with Coochies if you need
Yeah.
to.
There you go.
It'll be all right.
In case someone's gonna start a podcast called Grass with Coochie.
Right? They're
Now
just
they're
making
gonna get
crafts
that.
with their pussies.
It's like
That's
painting.
that's my OnlyFans.
Painting. Yes.
Yeah. Have anyone watched Grace and Frankie? 'Cause-
Yes.
Yes,
I love that show.
Frankie drew
Yeah.
a painting of her vagina with her vagina.
Yeah.
Anyway,
her.
Love her.
so Crass with Cuties. Joanna, anything to promote?
Just follow me at JOHANNA period MEDRANDA. It's the longest name on the planet, but it's only mine.
You should have the other part of your last name.
Right. No shit. I am truly Johanna Madronda Salcedo.
I don't want it.
I know. Me either, honey. Try having it already. Yeah,
I
it's
don't want-
fucking
I
awful.
can't even give it away.
Yeah, right. It's awful. Nobody will buy it. I just follow me on socials. I have some pretty cool dates coming up in the future. I'm playing my first feature weekend at Mark Ridley's in July. I'll be playing Bonnaroo in September.
July what?
July 1st through the 3rd.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle.
Yeah.
Connor, any dates?
Off the top of my head.
Perfect.
Just
Joanna, more
don't
dates
try.
than to fill Connor's dates.
I'll be in Indiana next Friday, in Indianapolis. I'll be in
Hey, book
Ohio a
me.
few times. We'll be in Ohio at the beginning of April.
Oh yeah, and then we're going to Chicago.
Yeah,
for
we'll
some
be in
shit.
Chicago in May.
For some shit. Yeah.
We're around, man.
I'm not professional. Like she's like a hustler, and I was like, I guess I'll do the show. Does anyone want to
She's a
message
hustler,
me?
and I'm hustling to keep up.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah.
Together we
haven't
make a
sent an
great
email.
team. Come on now. Come on now.
You guys do seem like a great team. Wonderful podcast. And once again, check
Thank
it out.
you.
Each Other's
Thank
Mothers.
you so much.
I'm a fan. I listen to every week.
Oh my
Aw.
god, thank you.
Oh,
I will cry right
you
now.
think I just had you on here for fun?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I know you
You're
guys
just like
do-
desperate. Like,
I know you
oh,
guys
we need
do
a-
comedy, but I had a couple cancellations, and I think you guys were cool together that one time I
Right.
saw you. No.
Right. Not bad for some chicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Not
I
bad
thought you
for
needed
some-
like fill a quota. Like I
Some
need woman on the
Detroit
show.
broads.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, well, yeah, I have a minority quota and a woman quota, and
There
you
you
guys,
go.
you guys
Filling it.
filled both of them.
You're welcome.
It's
And we're
kind of
gay.
a joke, but I do make an effort.
Yeah. That's all we ask.
All right, I think this has been fun.
Yeah, I had a great time.
Thank
Once
you so
again,
much.
follow them on Instagram and Twitter. Is your Instagram and Twitter the
I'm
same?
on Twitter. Yep. Instagram, Twitter, the same, and then Facebook if you're on it.
Yeah, it's
whatever.
all the same. You'll
I'm
see
on-
it. You
I'm
see
on
it. See it
things.
below me here.
Yep.
At Connor Median,
Connor Median. That's
at
me.
Joanna Madronda,
Yes.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
At Each Other's Pod on Instagram. And you can follow me at the mother.
Stop
Every
that.
time.
Oh.
You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at _Hunter Miles. And you can follow the podcast on Twitter at Where Is This GoPo and on Instagram at Where Is This Going Pod. Send us an email. Where is this going pod at gmail.com. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for listening. And once again, check out Each Other's Mothers podcast. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.